Let's talk about something every nonprofit CEO and executive director will face, and usually at the most inconvenient moment possible. Picture this. It's Monday morning. You're halfway through your first cup of coffee, still convincing yourself that it's going to be a productive day. You open your inbox, and there it is, a subject line from a staff member that reads, "Quick chat?" Now, we both know that quick chat means anything but quick. It's code for, this is going to be emotionally draining and possibly ruin your week. Immediately, your brain kicks into overdrive. Are they quitting? Are they upset with me? Is this about the holiday party budget again? The possibilities are endless and none of them seem good. If you've ever felt that stomach drop, you're not alone. We've all been there. Today, we're diving into how to handle even the messiest staffing challenges with composure, clarity, and yes, grace. Welcome to Nonprofit CEO Spark, the podcast for bold leaders ready to navigate growth and change with energy and confidence. I'm Marcia Beckner, nonprofit founder, former executive director, and culture strategist with nearly 20 years in the social impact world. Each week, I help nonprofit leaders stop spinning out, set boundaries, and design inclusive cultures where all staff can thrive. If you're ready to reignite your leadership without sacrificing your well-being, hit subscribe and let's spark your next chapter together. When I was leading MyLifeLine Cancer Foundation, I had 1 week where 2 staff members were in a Cold War. A major grant proposal was due, and a board member had just sent me an urgent email about a typo in our newsletter. I wish I could tell you I handled it like a leadership ninja, but in reality, I overreacted. I rushed into decisions without understanding the full picture. I sent a late-night email trying to fix things, which only made it worse. And what I learned that week was this: urgency is not always your friend, and grace doesn't come from moving faster. It comes from slowing down just enough to make a better call. And when I say grace, I don't mean letting things slide or avoiding tough conversations. Grace in leadership means to me that first, you separate emotion from decision making. So if you're fired up, take a beat before responding. No email combat. No hallway drive-bys. Just pause and simmer until you've processed the emotion all the way through. And then next, figure out the context before making conclusions. That staff member might be frustrated, but maybe they're also overwhelmed, scared, or unsure. Ask questions and listen. And then third, model calm under pressure. Your team will take their cues from you. If you're the emotional thermostat, you decide whether the room heats up or cools down. So here's a quick conflict triage checklist you can use. 1, you can decide whether something is urgent versus important. Does this need immediate action fast or just acknowledgement and enough time to think through some better solutions? 2, who's involved? Do you have the full set of perspectives? 3, mission alignment. What outcome will best serve the mission and the people involved? When in doubt, lead with curiosity. And remember, the first conversation is about understanding, not defending. A nonprofit CEO I coach had a staff member who was quietly undermining a new initiative. Instead of calling him out in a meeting, she invited him to coffee. She asked what his biggest concerns were, and she listened, and then together they adjusted the plan, improving it in ways that got full team buy-in. That staff member went from being resistant to one of the biggest champions of this project. So here's your spark plug shift for the week. Your calm presence can lower the temperature faster than any policy. Pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what outcome will serve the organization, the mission, and the people? Before you act, talk it through with a trusted peer or a confidant to process through the emotions and see the situation with more neutrality. Navigating staff challenges isn't about perfection. It's about showing up with grace and steadiness, even when you're standing in the middle of the storm. If there's even a hint of legal risk from harassment claims, wrongful termination suits, policy violations, that's your cue to call in a qualified HR advisor. They can help you protect yourself, your team, and your organization. And remember, as my grandma always told me when times were tough, this too shall pass. But while you're weathering the storm, your own health and well-being must be non-negotiable. Self-care is not selfish. It's a targeted strategy that sustains your energy for the long game. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Nonprofit CEO Spark. If you're ready to turn burnout into boundaries and build a healthy, happy culture where everyone, including you, can thrive, visit culturecares.com to learn how I support nonprofit organizations like yours. If this episode brought you value, share it with a fellow leader navigating stress and overwhelm. And remember, you are meant for great things, and you don't have to burn out to prove it. Until next time, keep leading with courage and confidence.